Tavshin Lamed Gimel Shabbos Parshas Tovei Chai El. It begins in the pasuk that says in Yeshaya Hanavi, Kumi Oiri Kiva Oirich, arise, my light, or shine my light, because your light has come. Hine Kiva Oirich Hutam Al Kumi Oiri. Since it says that your light has arrived, therefore he's telling him, go, shine, arise, shine, because your light is here. Shakadosh Baruch Hu Omer Yisrael, that Hashem tells the Yidden, the Kivish Gvar Bar Oirich, since your light already came, Ha'oir Shalach Shal Yisrael. That's what it means, Oirich, your light, the Yidden's light arrived, so now use it. Now show it off. Therefore you have to arise and to illuminate. The Rebbe asks, we need to understand what's the idea behind these two lights. First of all, there's a Oir Shal Yisrael Atzmam. We're saying your light came, so that's the Yidden's own light. And then there is what you're doing, and the light that you have to illuminate. So there's Oireich, that's one level of light, and then now you have to illuminate Oiri as a command. You should illuminate. What is that other level? This will be understood according to what's brought down the Yalk Shemoini. Amri Yisrael Fnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Yidden said before Hashem, Asinu L'cha menorah b'mei Moshe v'chavsa. We made a menorah in the times of Moshe Rabbeinu, and it was extinguished, meaning we don't have that menorah. The Mei Shloime, we made a menorah in the days of Shloime Melech, v'chavsa, and it was extinguished. In other words, we had a menorah in the Mishkan, now there's no Mishkan. We had a menorah in the Beis HaMikdash, now there's no Beis HaMikdash. So we've done our part, now it's time for you to do your part. From now on, we are only waiting for your light. Like it says, that with you is the source of life. In your light, we will see light. You see the same juxtaposition? Just like it says, illuminate, because your light has come. The same thing we're saying by the Eibishter. Ba'orcha, there's your light, and now your light should make light visible. And just like it's by Hashem that way, ba'orcha nira oir, v'kach amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, just like by the Yidden addressing Hashem, it says ba'orcha nira oir, so to Hashem told the Yidden, Kumi oiri ki ba'oirech, come, rise up and illuminate, and shine your light, because your light has come. So the Rebbe says, based on the connection that the Medrash makes between these two psukim, we could begin to understand our original question. Line 10, from the fact that he likens what it says, rise up and illuminate, because your light has come, to what we say about the Eibishter, that in your light we will see light, or the light will become visible. Moving, it's understood that the two aspects in the pasuk, rise up and illuminate, because your light has come, are similar to the two aspects and components of the pasuk that says, in your light the light will be seen, because we can see exactly how it correlates one to the other completely. Let's go on to the next page, Ois Beis. This idea of the two levels of light will be understood by what you just by prefacing what my father-in-law, the Frierdiker Rebbe, explained. In his mimer titled, that with you is the source of life, and with your light we will see light, or your light, or with your light the light will become visible. In this pasuk that we quoted, there is yesh arba inyanim. There are four aspects. Chaim, there's life. Mikor Chaim, there's the source of life. Orecha, there is your light. V'oir, and then there's the light that is visible. And these four things are in an order in the pasuk going from below to above, as he will explain what they are. So he says, Chaim hu hachayis halakish mislabish ba'olumus mamalklam. The level of life, that is the godly life force that's enclosed in the world, from below to above. Actually, in the pasuk, it's Chaim is not the first. Makar Chaim is first. But anyway, the Yesh Lahoisabir, the Rebbe says we could add explanation of the association between Chaim and Memal Kalam. So he says the Zeshanikra b'Shem Chaim Loshan Rabim, who the reason why it's called Chaim in the plural instead of Chai in the singular, because the life force and vitality that becomes enclosed in the worlds and in the creations is in a multiple way. It's much division in every creation according to its level and matter and so on. So therefore, we use the term Chayim in the plural. This is similar to what Chassidus explains about the idea of Shem Elokim being Lashon Rabim, because Shem Elokim is a level of Elokus that deals with the worlds. It's the Chayis of all the Nivroim, and therefore there's multiple levels and aspects of that Chayis according to every Nivro. So anyway, Chayim is the level of Mamal Klam, the level that's enclosed in the worlds. Next level, higher than that, Mekor Chayim, the source of life, Klam, is the light that encompasses the worlds. Orecha, your light, hu Torah, as it says, Torah, the Torah is light. Shalamayla gam mesoiviv, that Torah is even higher than the level of Soiv Klam. The Orsheniraide Orecha, and the light that becomes visible through Orecha, the final aspect in the pasuk, that because that Orecha, with your light will become visible. So that light that becomes visible through your light is even higher than Orecha. To such a degree is it higher, to the degree that your light is only a preparation to the light that's visible through it. In other words, that's why it says, with your light, we will see light. In other words, why are we able to see light? Why is the light visible, this final level of light? Only thanks to Orecha. So that means that the Orecha is a stepping stone to, a preparation for the level of that even higher level of light, higher than the Orecha of Torah. So again, to sum it up, we have Chaim, that's Memal Klam. Mekor Chaim, that's Soiv Klam. Orecha is Torah. And then there's something that's high beyond that, the level of Oir, he hasn't yet identified that. Oiz Gimel. Hine bechdei lavaira iluda Orecha. Shaydei ze yuvun goydel mailsa Oir, sheniraide Orecha, sholomayla gam Orecha, to be able to understand, to explain the quality and the advantage of your light, which is level number 3 in this going from below to above, that through understanding what Orecha is, which we identified as Torah, we'll be able to understand how great the Oir is that is seen and visible through Orecha, that is even higher than Orecha. So to be able to go that high, we need to start in a level right beneath it. This will be understood by first prefacing the explanation of the second level, the source of life. There are 2 meanings and explanations in what is called the source of life. The reason why it's called the source of life is even the light of Soiviv Kolam, that level that transcends, since even Soiv Kalam is only a ray of the Eibishter, if it would be the essence, so he couldn't even be called Mekor Chaim. But since it's only a ray of Hashem, hu moker al kolponim la'or hamamale, at least it's a level of a source for the light of that fills the worlds. It's also, because it's only a ray, it could be a source for the life force that's enclosed in the world. That's one way of looking at the idea of Mekor Chaim. That it's a source, in other words, it has an active connection with it. Then there's another way of looking at it, which is Mekor Chaim, the source of life. Really, Mekor Chaim, we'll soon explain the meaning of Mekor over here, is referring to such a type of level of godly light that is beyond even being called a source for the life of a Malchus. Not like we said before, that it's a source for it. It's too high even to be called a source for a Malchus. So, but let's look at the words. Mekor Chaim. Chaim, we said, is a Malchus. You're calling it Mekor Chaim, the source of life. What do you mean it's higher than a Makir? So he's saying there's a Makir and there's a Makir, or maybe like a difference in Makir b'shem Mushal. We borrow the term Makir, but it's not really a Makir. Why do we call it Mekor Chaim, the source of life? Not because it's an active Makir involved in like emanating that life force and that vitality, but rather it's called a Makir, a source, because the life force occurs from it, comes out of it, but it's not an active, involved source, which is the normal usage of Makir. And the Rebbe is going to give an example for this idea in the brackets, line 26. Similar to what it's written on the Torah. Top of page Zayin, that Hashem is called the Tzur of our life. Tzur is a flint rock. The Pirush Tzur, the meaning of Tzur is Shu Makir v'Shoirish Kol Shorshe Esavos, that he is the source and the root of all root of coming into being of everything. That's why it's called the Tzur, the rock, the flint rock of our life force. But it's not an active, involved, enclosed source. It's not, heaven forbid, an intention that he's a source for the coming into being of all creations, but rather he's so removed that all the roots of the things that come into it, just that come about, came from it. The idea of tzur, the idea of a rock, he says in the footnote 8 in the previous page, that it's like a flint rock that is the source of fire. Now, the idea of being the source of fire, the idea of fire coming out of the flint rock, it's not that the flint rock is active and the flint rock is evolved. It's just that when you strike something at it and on it, so then the fire emanates from it. And surely if you open up the flint rock, you're not going to find any fire in it. So this always contrasts the way a flint rock has fire versus, let's say, how a coal has fire hidden within it. Over there's an actual fire inside, actual heat inside, not that way the flint rock. So the same thing, the Eibishter is called Sur Chayenu because he's a source, but he's a source in such a way that all life force came from him, not that he's a source that's involved. So that is the second explanation of Mekor Chaim. The first explanation is an involved source that's enclosed and interacts and so on. The second meaning of Mekor Chaim is he's not really a mocker, but rather like the flint rock, that the fire emanates from it, but it's not actively, it's not enclosed in any way or interacting with anything. So now, based on these two explanations of what Mekor Chaim could mean, so now he's going to go and explain the Ki Imcha Mekor Chaim. With you is the source of life, which is a very strange type of expression. He should have said, you are the source of life. Why did it say Imcha Mekor Chaim? So corresponding to the two explanations in Mekor Chaim, if it's an actual source or just a source that things emanate from, corresponding to those two explanations, there's also two ways of explaining the word Ki Imcha. Let's see line 4 on page Zayin. This is where it says that with you is the source of life. In the word Imcha, with you, there are two explanations. The emphasis in the word with you is that it's only with you, it's not you yourself. Meaning, it's something that is ancillary and bottle to you. That's the meaning, one meaning of Imcha. That it's insignificant, it's completely of no consequence in comparison to the Eibishter himself. That's one idea in the word Imcha. Another idea in the word Imcha is how connected it is with the Eibishter. Second meaning, line 7, another emphasis in Imcha is that it's not a separate matter, but rather it is with you. Instead of looking as the source of life, as being something disconnected from Hashem Chas v'Sholom, rather it's something together with you, miyuchad imay yizbarech, that it's completely joined with the Eibishter. Al derech masha amru medrash, similar to what it says in the Medrash al Pasuk. Im kesef talves ami, if you will loan my nation money. So the Medrash wants to explain why does it say in Parsh Mishpatim, if you will loan my nation money. If you will lend money to someone, what's the concept of ami? So the Medrash says, Im kesef talve chulu es ami, if you will lend my nation. So the Medrash also plays on the words as if it says at imi. Es ami can be read at imi, that you are with me. Let's see in the side in the commentary in line 22 on the right side of the page. The zel lashon medrash. This is the expression of medrash. Im kesef talvas ami, if you will lend money to my nation. And again, what does it have to say my nation? Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem said, Im kesef talva, if you will lend him money, v'lo tikach memenu ribis, and you will not take from him interest. At imi, you see the nekudas over there? Es ami should be read at imi, you are with me. And what's the significance of a Yid is with the Eibishter? Ma ani eini moit la'olam, just like Hashem, I am never collapse, never fall. Af ata ein ata moit la'olam, that so too you will not collapse forever. Shenemar, like it says, that he did not give out his money on interest. That whoever does that will not collapse forever. So what do we see over here? Going back to the text itself, inside the Maimer, line 11. Mo ani chulu af ata chulu. That the word imi, which the Medrash makes es ami into at imi, means that there's association. In the first explanation of imcha means it's actually making it, it's lessening it. It's saying It's only with me. It's not me. The emphasis in the other explanation, ki imcha mekar chayim, is just like it says at imi by Kesef Talvas Ami, that you are with me, you are together with me, you are joined with me. It's a positive thing. That the mekar chayim is imcha, as we will soon explain. And we also said that these two explanations of imcha mekar chayim correspond to the two explanations of the words mekar chayim. So he says in line 11, V'yesh loymar shnei perushim elohim behesem l'shnei perushim d'leelu mekar chayim, that these two explanations in the words, the imcha, is it imcha means that the imcha is something that is only with you, not you yourself, or imcha means that you are always connected to Hashem, are connected to the two meanings in the words mekar chayim, the source of life. According to the explanation that the source of life is that he's really a source and he's involved and he's engaged. So then, what does it mean that with you is the source of life? That the source of life, the level that's engaged and involved with the level of Mamalakal Almin, is only something that's with you. It's not you yourself. It's secondary to you. It's nullified before you. It has no significance before you. 16. According to this second explanation, that what does it mean? The source of life. It's not actively engaged, but it's rather that the life is something that comes out of it, not that it's a makir. So Pirish Kim Chum Chaim, so the explanation that with you is the source of life, Usham Shochas Achaim Hirak Mi'imcha, that the drawing down of the life is only from Imcha, meaning Mebchinas Ha'or Shemiyuchadim Yizbarach, it's coming from that level of the life that is completely joined with him. In other words, it's so joined with him that just like the Eibishter, it's impossible to say about him that he's actively engaged to be the source of everything, but rather things come out of him. The same thing, the Imcha, the level that's completely tuffle and bottled to the Eibishter, means that it's something that is it's not something that's he himself, and even that, but since it's completely miyuchad with him, so the life force that comes out is only like, let's say, fire coming out of the flint rock, etc. In the next Ois, in Ois Daled, we're going to speak about that even when we're talking about this higher meaning of Mekar Chaim, even when we're talking about the level of not a real source, but it's a level of life that it's just that it comes from it, like fire comes from a flint rock, and it's completely imcha, that it's completely miyuchad with the Eibishter. So even that level, since it's after all called Mekar Chaim, it's after all the terminology that's used, the phraseology is used is Mekar Chaim. And Chaim, we know, is the life force that has to do with the worlds. So even in the higher explanation of Mekar Chaim, that it's something that's tafel to Hashem imcha, and that it's a source of life, not in an active way, but more like in a passive way, that it all comes from it. Even that has to do with the world. And because it has to do with the world, so therefore, step number 3, Chaim is step number 1, Mekar Chaim is step number 2. The Orecha is even higher than any shaykhis with the world, as the Maimon will explain tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem.